Shireen, let's start off with the kind of movement we're seeing on the rand front this morning. Weakness coming through minute by minute. We were chatting to Mark Witten a little earlier, and he was saying that he sees this unit getting to as far as 880. What kind of trading range have you pegged out for the local unit right now?
Well, we, as you mentioned, the rand is trading weaker and weaker as the minutes pass. We believe that it's possibly a combination of what the Spanish Prime Minister alluded to yesterday about the Spanish bailout, and that it wasn't really imminent. But we do believe that if you actually look at the word imminent, he possibly means not today or tomorrow, but we could possibly some of that come through by the weekend, and that could really push the rand a little bit stronger. But what also happened yesterday was comments by the governor indicating that Moody's downgrade is worrisome and that South Africa does have to look at addressing those concerns. So we do expect over the course of the next 2 or 3 days that we could see continued weakness coming through, and we could possibly see the rand trade in that very tedious range that we have been seeing of 805 to 855. We could possibly see that the rand could possibly breach that 855 level and could move towards 860. But for the year as a whole, towards the end of the year, we are seeing that we are expecting the rand to weaken to about 875.
Shireen, 875, I think that's at the top of the range. There does seem to have been a shift. Last week it was very stable at around 822. It was almost like it was pegged at that for the week. And now it's been, as we speak this morning, it's gone down very fast. We were saying it was 837. Mark saw it at 837. When Alishia talked about 841, 844 when I was looking. I mean, this seems, obviously it's the kind of volatility we see, but it seems more rapid this time, or am I imagining that?
No, indeed, it has been very rapid, and it is reacting to what's happening in the international economy, with negative comments coming out of the uncertainty regarding the Eurozone, and that has been a trend of late and over the past couple of months, but it seems as if it's more adverse at the moment. We are expecting, though, that there's going to be some kind of bailout by the weekend, and that could obviously push the rand a little bit stronger as markets really take that as positive sentiment rather than negative sentiment if we do see that bailout. But as the Spanish Prime Minister has alluded to, that it's not imminent, we could possibly see that weakness continue if we don't see that bailout by over the next couple of days.
Shireen, with what's happened in the local markets over the last few months with the strikes, etc., and the fact that we've been cancelling our bilateral trade agreements with Europe, there's been some negative developments now with the Moody's downgrade. Have you guys been sort of adjusting your longer term? I mean, in the short term, it's often quite volatile, but over the longer term, it tends to trade according to what we talk about, interest rate parity, etc. Has Standard Bank been adjusting their valuations or their forecasts for the long-term outlook for the rand?
Yes, we did. Initially, we had closer towards the middle of the year, we had the rand at about 850. We have adjusted that to about 875 to end the year at about 875. So it is substantially weaker than what we have seen over the past few weeks when we did see the rand trade within the 805 to, as you mentioned, 822 level. So it is a considerable depreciation that we have priced in for the moment. With regards to GDP as well, we have lowered our forecast to 2.5%, and it's more or less in line with consensus numbers and a number of other houses, including the Reserve Bank, that has also recently lowered their GDP forecast to about 2.7.
Shireen, it'll certainly be interesting to see within that context the kind of activity from the Reserve Bank as well, where we've got reserve data coming through later this week. Your expectations on that front?
During the course of September, we did see the rand strengthen quite a bit by the end of the month to about 817 compared to the 842 that we saw previously. And given the strength of the currency, one would expect that the Reserve Bank would have jumped on the bandwagon and accumulated reserves. But the Reserve Bank seems to be concerned about sterilization costs. And as long as South African interest rates are higher than those of its trading partners, particularly the Eurozone and the US, we could possibly see the Reserve Bank sitting on the sidelines for quite some time, at least until that comes down. So we are expecting the total gross reserves to have increased to about 50.7 billion from 49.9, but a large part of that is likely to be just based on revaluation effects rather than actual accumulation of foreign exchange reserves.